this thing on? Hello? Yes, it is on. Hello, welcome to the morning show, everybody. Happy Friday. We're here. We made it. Got the crew today. Myself, JC, Strazza, Alfonso, Louie on the show, because that's what we do, Crypto Fridays. And that's what we got. What up, chat? Phil, Peter, Cece, Adam, Mary, Dawson, Josh. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. If you're watching on X/Twitter, hello. Good to see you. Let's get this show on the road. See what we talk about today. Who knows?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday, everybody. Happy Crypto Friday. Happy bull market. Happy October. September and October are supposed to be scary months. Bad things happen in September and October. How's your scary month season going so far? Has it been scary?
There's always scary stuff out there. You know, there's always a scary story.
You know, I was thinking. I think sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know how like all these it's always like the saddest little perma bears that are always adjusting asset prices for inflation. Have you noticed?
Uh-oh. What happened?
The sadder the perma bear, the more depressed they are, the more they decide to adjust prices arbitrarily for some random measure of inflation. That may or may not be correct.
What's the best thing you've seen adjusted for inflation? What is one chart?
It doesn't matter. Let me ask you this. Asset prices are all knowing, right? Supply and demand dynamics are factoring in all kinds of stuff. Earnings and GDP and inflation or deflation or whatever inflation you might be shilling these days, right? The market is priced at that price because or despite that inflation. Am I wrong?
The price is the price, I think is what you're saying.
The price is the price. So to then take the price that is already factoring in your inflation, then you're going to refactor in that inflation and readjust that again, even though the price already is what it is because or despite that inflation. So to readjust seems psychotic, does it not?
Well, they're taking the inflation out of it.
They're taking inflation out of it by readjusting it?
When you adjust for inflation, yeah, you're removing the impact of the inflation, right?
I guess. Is that what's going on?
I think that's what's happening. Yeah.
It's just something I'm thinking about. All right.
But JC, don't you always adjust for inflation when you talk about the money market funds and how not good those are? You do.
No.
You do.
I adjust money market funds for inflation?
No, you always say like if someone says to you, I'm getting 4.5%, I'm rolling in dough, I'm loving it. Your answer to them is no, you're not, for a whole bunch of reasons, one of which is
after you factor in the taxes and inflation, you're losing money.
And inflation.
Right. These aren't asset prices. This is just a yield you're getting on cash. This is not like the price of assets going up and down.
All right. So
do you think the reason why we're making such a big deal about this inflation that really wasn't that bad is because we haven't had it for so long?
Who's we?
The world, the big we.
We got some inflationary pressures happening. I don't know if you noticed this week. Shall we, Mr. Spencer Israel? Shall we take a look at those inflationary pressures?
They're inflationary? Sure. Yeah. Let's go.
I got a good one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got what, Strazza? You're interrupting my rundown.
Yeah, because this is important. Before you do your inflation thing, unrealized capital gains tax of 40%. Fabrizio in the chat. It's Fugazi. No one is taking this seriously. It'll never happen. I know it's a thing that's being talked about. It's not real.
Are we talking about the communists again? They need to stop it.
It'll never happen. It's
Also,
not.
it's only for like the gajillionaires. Are you a gajillionaire, Fabrizio? Then no.
No, it's
not
happening.
Gonna happen to them
it's
either,
not happening.
Spencer.
It's not happening. No matter what the communists say, it will not be allowed to happen because mathematically it's impossible.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. Sorry.
All right. We've got the Dow futures up 156 points. Strazza. They are now up 163 points. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, 42,500. S&P futures up 0.2% this morning.
Can I tell you why that is?
Excuse me?
Can I tell you why that is?
Nope. I imagine because there are more buyers and sellers coming in.
The jobs number, baby. Hey.
Are they still doing that? Are they the farm payrolls this time? That's the one I want to know.
No, we are inching towards what they call full employment here in the U.S.
Wow.
Is this the non-farm payroll, Spencer?
Big beat.
No, it's one of these things where this happens all the time. You know it, JC. How bad are we at estimating these numbers? If we're expecting 140,
again with the
they come in at 254.
What kind of serial killer guesses these numbers?
Why do we even try? It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Can we get on with the futures? Because the Nasdaq's up 1% this morning. That's almost 200 points.
Jobs number. Hey.
Back over 20,000. 30-year bond futures getting killed, down towards 122. Crude oil up again 0.5% to 74. Copper up 0.5%, 457. Gold down 0.5%, 2666. With silver down almost a full percent, just above 32. Volatility index back down to 19. And then in funny money land, of course, Bitcoin is up almost 1,000 points, 61,500. 2,400 almost for Ethereum, up 1.5%. Solana 140, up 2.5%. Total crypto market cap, Spencer Israel 2.09 trillion, with the Bitcoin dominance above 58%. How do we feel about this morning's futures that may or may not be due to said jobs numbers?
They're good for me.
I'm liking it.
Yeah, they're good for me. Yeah.
All right. I'm mostly interested in my own employment. Can we get to slide 2, please, Spencer Israel?
SMH.
No, not SMH. Energy.
Yeah, right.
So speaking of inflation, the way I learned it was that former resistance turns into support. Is that what's happening here, Mr. Strazza?
Oh, yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Not bad. Not bad.
Right?
It's not just crude oil, right? They're all doing it. They're all dancing together.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about this? Line go up or no?
Yeah. So they're digging in. And ExxonMobil is breaking out. So good. I'm dropping a chart.
Do you think this is it for ExxonMobil?
Look, I pay a particular amount of attention to the way things break out, and this is good stuff. This is a nice move. It's happening with crude oil at the lower bounds of its range, right? So crude oil makes a move back towards the upper bounds of its range. That price action confirms a breakout in something like ExxonMobil. Exxon's front running this thing. The other charts in the energy space, whether it's futures or energy stocks, they don't look this good.
This is a great chart, Strazza. It's a great chart.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
But it's still the evidence is still mixed for this sector. You know, it's one thing for crude oil, heating oil. What's the other one? Gasoline to dig in at the lower bounds and rebound here, right? But we're not seeing many charts that look like ExxonMobil. That's the reason why we keep talking about ExxonMobil, because that one looks different. The rest of them look like this. So, you know, you look at something like Occidental, that's a top. So,
why do you say Occidental's? You're saying not a top?
No, it's a top. Right now, it's a top. Maybe it fails the top, but for now, that's a completed top. That is a valid top. That is distribution all day.
The one that's up 10% this week, that Oxy?
That's a top, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Look at the chart. How else would you draw that?
Looks like a sideways range. Looks like a sideways range for 2.5 years.
It looks like it was a sideways range, and then it resolved lower. What are you looking at?
We're looking at the early 22 lows, and what happens if we get back above 55, 56? And it's definitely not a top.
Massive scoop move above 56. Let's see it.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. Yeah, I don't think this is a top in Occidental. I don't think this is a top. It's going to be really difficult for that to be a top in the middle of a bull market with energy digging in here. I think it's going to be really tough to be a top.
You break my heart when you talk crazy like this.
Crazy?
Because
this is not a bull market.
This has all the evidence of a top. Momentum.
Are you short? Let me ask you this: are you short Occidental Petroleum?
Confirming a top.
Are you short Occidental Petroleum?
Broke down from. That's
are
bad
you short?
TA.
Are you short?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not short.
Right, you're not short because you don't think it goes lower. Because if you did think it was going to go lower, you'd be short, wouldn't you?
I got out of my Oxy warrants summer of 2022. I had nothing to do with this mess for the last 3 years. Everybody's sitting around talking about Warren Buffett trying to buy this chart. This is a terrible looking chart, is all I'm saying.
All right. I don't
care.
I think it'll be a new 52-week highs before the end of the year.
Yeah, Warren's timing on Oxy was awful, and now he's in a loss position. He was up billions and billions of dollars.
First of all, Warren Buffett's the only 95-year-old that's still investing for the long term.
I'm not going to short it. It's a bull market. I'm not looking for stocks to short.
Thank you.
I could find you a million charts that look a whole hell of a lot better than this one that I would be buying.
I'll tell you what. This thing will be making new 52-week highs before the end of the year.
Look, I hear you guys.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. You got a JC PG personal guarantee. No, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it does. I think it does.
ExxonMobil's breaking out to new all-time highs. This is probably not a top, right? We could say the same thing about crude oil digging in its support. I get that.
Yeah, you think Oxy's going to complete this top and collapse with ExxonMobil breaking out of this 15-year base to new all-time highs? I don't think so.
Great, I hear you. Think back to the home builders earlier this summer. What was that? Yeah, June, July. That's the kind of non-top that you want to be buying when it's making fresh multi-month lows, right? Oxy's making fresh multi-year lows. It's been oversold like 3 or 4 times over the past couple of months. If you look at the home builders, months back in June, no oversold readings. The primary trend was very much still intact. This top's a little bit different. It's not one that I, jumping out of my desk chair to get involved in, is all I'm saying.
Can we go to the next chart, Mr. Spencer Israel, slide number 5, please? I think this is an interesting one. We just had our monthly candles. I think it's nice to take a step back, do a little zoom out. How do you feel about this chart, Mr. Strazza?
Can we get the Oxy Buffett chart? Because this is misinformation in the chat. Uncle Warren is not defending Oxy at 50 almost always. He stopped defending it, and he was defending it around 60, not 50. So we are below the Buffett zone.
Can we move on from Warren Buffett?
We've broken the Buffett line, and he's no longer a buyer of this stock.
Listen,
I'm just telling you.
Bitcoin and Solana, Strazza. Focus. I need you focused here. Focused. What do you think? It's Crypto Fridays. Is it not? Is it Occidental Fridays? Is it Warren Buffett Fridays? Or is it Crypto Fridays? Come on, let's go. Where's your orange t-shirt?
These things, they're just taking their sweet time still. It's been very frustrating. If you look at the range in Solana, that has been a really frustrating trend this year. Breaking above VWAP, below VWAP, above VWAP. You got a shakeout at the lows a couple months ago.
But when you zoom out, Strazza, zoom out,
very messy.
Zoom out, does it not look constructive?
I'm just talking in this range. It is wildly trendless right now.
Right. Fine. Now zoom out. Looks constructive,
higher high,
doesn't it?
Lower low. It's ridiculous.
Again, zoomed out. Constructive?
Yeah, this is great. It's going to go. You know what I said on Twitter Spaces this week? It was controversial. I wish you were there. Solana's going to flip Bitcoin eventually. I don't know when it happens. I don't know if it's 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 2 cycles, 3 cycles, 5 cycles from now. Solana's going to flip Bitcoin. That's where all the exciting stuff is going down. It's not happening.
Solana is a meaningless 65 billion right now, and
right.
Bitcoin is 1.2 trillion.
That's my point. Yeah,
so
it'll be big. It happens all the time.
I mean, you're gonna need like a 18 bagger just to catch up to Bitcoin, assuming Bitcoin doesn't go up in that period.
Absolutely.
Right?
20 years ago, you would have said the same thing about Nvidia and Intel, right? That's crazy. Intel, wow, Nvidia would have to go up 20 times. It happens all the time. That's all I'm saying. So give it some time. I think Solana.
It happened one time.
Happened one time?
Last
there
chart.
Are countless
last
examples.
Chart.
Okay.
Last chart. How are we feeling about this one, Spencer?
Yeah, we talked about this last night on the stream.
How come I don't? How come my lines aren't there?
I don't know.
Well, my lines don't show up. That's weird. That's a bummer. I had good lines. Well, I guess they don't show up. That's weird.
Is this not the same? This is not the same chart as last night?
No, I guess not, because my chart from last night had the lines.
Oh, let me see.
Oh, here we go. Throw up the new slide 7. There we go. There's the lines.
Okay.
So this is what I'm thinking. I mean, just using logic, common sense, right? If we're going to have a bear market or a correction and, stocks are going to sell off, you need the prices of stocks to fall in order for that to happen, just mathematically. You can't have a bear market or a correction of any kind without the prices of stocks falling. We know that. So if we know that, why do you think that not that many people focus on the number of stocks that are falling in price? Why do you think that is? No thoughts. Spencer, any thoughts as to, if we know for a fact that, you know how people are always looking for corrections and the crash is coming and this is the end, and you'll see JC, you'll see you permabull, right? You know all that stuff. How come the number of stocks that are actually falling in price never comes up in any of these conversations? Why do you think that is? I always find that so odd.
Well, because it doesn't take every stock, because the indexes can fall without every stock going down, right? So
agreed, but you need some stocks to fall, otherwise the index is not going to fall.
Right. You need some particular stocks to fall, actually, not just some.
You need any stocks to fall, really. At least something. You're not getting any stocks falling. And it doesn't have to be a particular stock. It's any
also,
stock
just because it's not falling doesn't mean it's going up.
This chart really doesn't move me like the other one. Did you use my discretionary staples chart?
No.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it as much as this one. If you want, you could do a live stream at the close and you could talk about the charts that you think are most important.
I want to know what charts are breaking out if we're having a sweet Q4 rally like we had last year.
It just seems like nobody wants to talk about the new lows list. Like it's like I don't.
You're telling me it's not a bear market. No shit. I want to know, when are we getting the next leg up in this bull market?
Didn't we just close at the highest levels ever this week?
Didn't that just kind of happen?
Yeah,
the
equally weighted S&P 500 and NASDAQ just closed at all-time highs. So did the Dow. So did the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line. I mean, I could go down the list. German DAX. I mean, I could keep going, but yes. I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for.
All the large cap weighted averages, totally. I'm talking about the market of stocks. So I'm talking about something like small caps. Pull up a chart of IWM, Spencer, if you want to see what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, IWM is rising interest rates, good for small caps, right? Allegedly. Sorry, what to say? Falling interest rates, good for small caps.
The funniest part is that interest rates have been rising ever since they've been dropping them, right? You notice that?
That's what they tell me. Falling rates are good for small caps. I don't know.
Yeah, they tell us a lot of things. All right, guys. I love you guys. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy Crypto Friday. Say hi to Louis for me. Adios.
What?
It keeps getting earlier and earlier, doesn't it?
He said Friday is gonna have to dip out early. All right, that's cool. At first it was 9, then it was 8:55. Now it's 8:50.
No, listen. But we will do that. I have a number of charts. Stop deleting them, whoever's in the slides. Because I kind of did the same thought exercise that he did. We were looking for what we thought the top 5 most important charts were as we head into the fourth quarter of this year.
That'll be a good exercise to do every quarter.
So I have a couple, not 5, but maybe 2 or 3, and we'll talk about those when we're done with Louis.
All right. Well, Louis
today.
We got Kenny, we got Louis, we got Fonz. None of whom are here at the moment. Well, Fonz is here. Fonzo is here, but Louis having some mic issues. He'll be on in a sec. Well, Kenny, I don't know, in a moment or two as well. So before either of them hop in, let's just go over some things happening in the overnight session. So we talked about the futures. Someone in the chat was talking about the airlines. I forget who it was now. Sorry, but yeah, Spirit Airlines exploring bankruptcy. They say so. Add them to the list of airline, and basically every major airliner in this country, except for I think American, has filed for bankruptcy at some point or another. So
I thought that they were getting bought back in the day.
they were gonna merge with the old JetBlue, and not
Right. Okay. Yep.
JetBlue, and then
Yeah.
government said no, you're not, and Spirit said okay, we're kind of screwed now. So
Right.
it's a $1 stock at this point. All the shipping stocks are going to be down this morning because the strike is over. It lasted a whopping 3 days. If you're one of these people that went to Costco and bought 6 months of toilet paper, good. Sucks to be you right now, I think.
Dude, I can't tell you how many questions I've had to field about this strike since last weekend. It's absolutely crazy.
You know why? I think probably nobody was aware of like the supply chain until we had that massive backup at the port of LA a few years ago, right? And then it became like the issue of the day, and now everyone is like hypersensitive to like the supply chain.
Yep, I like that take.
Whereas they were not. Nobody thought about the supply chain before COVID. Nobody thought about that.
I think that's a super hot take. I think you're right.
Unless you worked in logistics, right? But yeah. Anyway, okay. Let's bring Louis on, and then we'll do Kenny. How about that? I have to get my my Louis bumper ready.
We're gonna do Louis first, then Kenny.
Unless you want to do Kenny then Louis. What should we do? What do you think?
Do Kenny first, then Louis.
All right, Kenny, you're coming on. Warp it live.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my clubs, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. What's up, boys and girls?
Kenny, Happy New Year, by the way.
Thank you very much. I was working hard yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's very nice. Guys, if you don't know, we're gonna have a watch party in about 6 months. They've been filming a TV show, my new venture into entertainment. So I was filming yesterday. I was murdered. I'm a gangster, and I killed the main guy's guy, and they came to my house to seek revenge. I took 2 in the chest, 1 in the head yesterday.
What are you talking about?
I'm in a gangster TV show. So fun stuff.
All right.
Yeah. Wait till you see this stuff. You're gonna get a kick out of it.
All right.
It's right out of the 1980s. Also had the gold chain on, a pinky ring on. It was
Wonderful.
So,
all right. Why the hell are we looking at DocuSign here?
DocuSign, because I'm looking at 3-year charts, and because we're looking at Clove, and we're looking at all these beautiful 3-year charts that are stocks that are coming out of these 3-year bases, just like the Chinese stocks last week. But before we go any further, I just want to talk about economic data for a second and the manipulation of your mind.
Please.
Okay? The manipulation of your mind is that they've been talking about this economic data release now for 10 days, right? Ooh, we got to be so afraid of economic data. And then you realize nobody cares, right? Nobody cares in a bull market. We're still in a bull market. Economic data is just basically it's a fart in the wind. And all this market is, and Warren Buffett said it best, what is the market? It's a vehicle to take money from the impatient and hand it over to the patient. And that's what it is. And I look at it as on a daily basis, but every once in a while, you look at the big picture, and then you could go back to focusing on the individual day. So as much as I don't own a lot of stocks and I don't like to swing trade, as long as you can isolate a decent amount of ideas, and then you just go back to them the next day, just like Alibaba. On the way from 88 to 120, we had 3 shorts on the stock when it pulled back during that time. So I really enjoy still being a trader, but every once in a while, a stock looks so good that, you know what, let's buy it. Like we were talking about this Clove yesterday. You were able to buy $4 calls for 4 cents. And now they're going to open up at around 25 cents. This morning, we bought we got the 4s, we bought the 450s, we got a 450 call spread. So, I've been looking at these charts. And again, if you still think this might not be a bull market, I could find you another 20 or 30 stocks that just broke out. That's a bull market. So until there's some sort of major announcement that the bull market's over, it's always a bull market. Even when we're going down, it's just a matter of time till we turn. Again, I've learned my lesson so hard that we just don't go down, and I'm just not going to fight it anymore. That's why I'm staying liquid. But man, there are so many stocks that are breaking out, like this Clove, and obviously like the Chinese stocks. And if you guys, I hope you took a look at this Tiger Woods here. This is Tiger. I don't know if you guys know about it. And again, for us, the trade is over. $5 got, $7.50, and you got the 10. This is a 3-year VWAP chart. And look at the monstrous consolidation under that orange line. So when they come out of this, I say coming out of the dungeon, imagine this is the Andy Dufresne trade, if you will. Remember Andy climbing through buckets of mucus and awfulness, and he comes out into the rain? That's what the 3-year breakout is. So they want to run. They want to run from the prison. They want to go to that island and hang out with Morgan Freeman. Andy, my friend Andy. That's what this is all about. So when these stocks come out, you can't hesitate, because the first 3 or 4 days is when everybody gets involved. And then if you get involved, you start getting into that chop. You're like, oh, I chased. I better get out of this thing before it rolls over and dies. And then maybe it pulls back, and then it breaks back out. So it's a really great environment for traders. It's a really great environment to be alive right now, especially if you're a Mets fan. Let's go. Sick.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up a little bit later on, but holy crap is all I have to say. I'm not even a Mets fan.
I'm not a Mets fan either, but I don't root against New York teams. But wow,
what a ridiculous thing that was last night. Yeah,
it really was just fantastic, man. I'm so happy for that guy too. I mean, they were just running him out of town, and then that might have been his last at bat as a Met, and that's what he does. I mean, you can't make it up. It's amazing. It really is.
All right. Listen, guys, hitthebid.com. All right. That's where Kenny's room is. If you're not in there, at the very least, for the 7 days, I think if you're in there for 7 days, you'll understand what the hell's going on. And there's no way you won't stay in there, because he's doing it. He's doing it every single day. And,
every day, my man. So we basically, if we don't know what we do, it's basically a 3-hour symposium, if you will. And there's Danish in the back, but sometimes they're eaten before you get there.
Yeah.
It's 3 hours extravaganza. And, again, by 12 o'clock, I kind of nod off because I'm getting old. But all you need is, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and hang with us. And then we still do more lessons at the end of the day. You got to meet my friend Solid, who basically has built some of these codes for you on your charts. It's all VWAP all the time, my friends. And it's fantastic. All right. Y'all have a great weekend. Spence, love you. Everybody. Let's go Mets. Let's go Yankees. All New York World Series, baby. Subway Series.
I hope so. All right. That would be nice, wouldn't it? All right. Let's bring on Mr. Louis Sykes. Let's do some Crypto Friday and see what's going on in crypto land. How about that?
Avocado and toast, leather seats, jet plane, always ready to go.
Boom. Louis.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Hey, buddy.
How's your move?
Fantastic to be with you on this Saturday morning for me.
How's your move? All good?
Fantastic. I'm staying in a beautiful place just for the next 6 weeks, right next to the ocean, private beach. It's doesn't really get much better than that.
You look like you're in a hostel.
In a hostel?
Do they have those?
What does that mean?
I don't know if they have those in New Zealand.
Good. It's good that you know.
Hey, well, blame the video guys. They sent me this background.
Oh, is that a thing? That's a thing. Got it.
Yeah.
See the edge.
Yeah.
Nice.
All
right. So talk to me. I mean, am I going to be waiting the rest of my life for these ranges to resolve?
You know what I think? I think it's coming into the week, first and foremost, you had Bitcoin and the total crypto market cap make just a marginal new higher high.
Yeah.
And then coming into Monday, you saw these short-term breakouts above the August pivot highs fail. We changed our short-term bias to bearish. And really, when you look at the Bitcoin chart, I think it's really telling. You've had this downward channel for the last 6 months, and you got that retest of the upper channel resistance. I know here we're very much big on our horizontal support and resistance, but I also like to look at these channels. What's that, sorry?
I got it drawn the same way as you, buddy. Look,
so
it's a channel. The diagonals keep working here, so...
Exactly. And, if you go have a look at the textbooks, what you generally tend to see is on the final retest of the channel resistance, you get that retest, you get that pullback, and then you get that shaping period for a few weeks. So what I want to see here is I want to see a little bit of shape develop. I want to see Bitcoin make a higher low here and really just get some shape. And if we, consolidate below these former August pivot highs, below this channel resistance, I think we're looking at a pretty monster breakout. I think we're targeting all-time highs. I think we're probably going 100K if we get that decisive breakout. And so for me personally, I've been really out of the crypto game for a while. I haven't really been taking all that many setups. I've been trading a few altcoins and a few setups here and there. But look, the environment just hasn't been conducive to buying every single breakout, buying every single dip. It's really just been a waiting game and being patient. This period over the last 6 months, I think has been I think we should look back at these last 6 months and say, how are we in relation to our portfolio and our crypto portfolio? Are we frustrated? Are we emotional about it? If you're frustrated about these last 6 months, then you probably haven't managed risk very well, and so it's probably a little bit of self-reflection is needed there.
No,
But for
that's
me
not.
now that I'm seeing a little bit of this shape develop, I want to
Well,
begin to edge back into the market, having a look at some of these altcoin setups, buying the altcoins that are retesting support. I think there's a really high conviction trade to be made here.
I appreciate your wisdom, but I will point out that the best traders we know are frustrated all the time. So it's very zen of you to think that if you're frustrated, you're doing something wrong. You're always really going to be frustrated. Check out our Off the Charts podcast, and you'll see what I'm
I
talking
can't wait to watch that. What was your biggest takeaway with your conversation?
with. Who?
I believe that there's some sort of psychology.
Yeah, that's
conversation.
today. That's Andrew Menaker.
Manicures
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, Menaker is that's going live in like a half hour.
We had a great interview this week too with Matt.
Exciting stuff. I suppose I'll open the floor to you. What are you seeing in crypto right now?
Opportunity cost. It's been that way all year. We keep taking shots at the crypto equities. Selling the puts continues to work. Every now and then, we can hit on some short dated calls, but anything longer term, anything intermediate term time frame or longer term time frame, it's really been a choppy mess. Solana, I'm reducing my exposure at one VWAP, adding it back at another VWAP, and it's just like bang, 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 bang in this range. So yeah, it's been tough, but I think it's getting to the point where, earlier this week it was trading around 65,000 again. Nobody's talking about it. Hopefully people are over it, frustrated, right? If they don't scare you out, they'll wear you out, kind of thing. I think that's exactly what's going on with crypto right now. You look at areas of the stock market doing so well, right? The major averages back at new all-time highs. And then you got Bitcoin doing this. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people. I think as soon as people stop looking at it, that's usually the moment you finally get that breakout. So I think it's coming by year end. But is it one of these situations where messy until the election, right? It's October. People keep reminding us about the seasonality. So there's just a lot going on right now.
Yeah, and it's really just guilty until proven innocent. You want to see that breakout. You want to see a little bit of confirmation because, again, to your point, it's really just been opportunity cost. And so there's nothing wrong with a little bit of patience. And as JC would say, if JC was here, he wouldn't mind paying a little bit extra, knowing that it's on the way higher.
Yeah. And then even from an intermarket perspective, this is not really the environment where I'd be looking for a Bitcoin range breakout, dollar digging in, rebounding higher, interest rates making a big move up this week, right? You probably want to see the dollar topping and rolling over, interest rates hitting new lows, right? And that's kind of the environment where I would think, oh, cryptos are breaking out. So
Yeah, and then if I was going to play devil's advocate with that, the correlations have really been quite funky with crypto and equities, and so is it as important as it was, say, 6 months ago or a year ago? I don't really know. I think if you do see the dollar rip here, then again, that's not conducive to Bitcoin and a breakout here. But even if we see a
Dollar's
little bit of
digging
a
in.
sideways range in the dollar, I wouldn't necessarily create any sort of macro story from that, just because the correlations have died down quite a lot.
Yeah. Q4 last year, though, how did the cryptos do?
Q4 last year, fantastic.
And what was the dollar and interest rates doing in Q4?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, that was, Q4 last year when the correlations were different to where they are now.
Right. And that was the best things were this whole bull cycle
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
October through December, January of last year. Everything was working, remember? Real
Mhm.
estate stocks were ripping, speculative growth, small caps were actually going up, banks were going up. It was great. Cryptos were rocking. Dollar and rates straight line lower, October to the end of the year. I
Mhm.
think you need that to have another year-end rally this year. And they're moving in the opposite direction this week.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I'm just playing a little bit of devil's advocate here. So what do you think about the strategy of, you've got a lot of cryptos that experienced a nice little pop a few weeks ago, and now you're seeing them pull back into pretty logical levels of support. What are you wanting to do there? Are you just wanting to be patient, play it out, wait for the market to set up a little bit more, to your point with the dollar rebounding here, or do you just want to take a little bit of a aggressive trade and buy these retests of support? Like I
You talking about the
brought Shiba,
altcoins?
the chart of Shiba. That might be a
Oh,
good
the sheep.
example to.
Yeah, I saw your chart. Look, I keep trying to add altcoin exposure. I've been using my Ethereum too as the funds. Rather than putting
Mhm.
more cash in, I'm like so done with Ethereum at this point. So I have big anchor positions in ETH, Bitcoin, Solana, and I'm really starting to reduce my Ethereum one. Stuff like this, yeah, I'm in and I'm patient because look, for me, I'm here for the primary trend once it finally gets underway for these guys, right? So I'm accumulating, looking at these like bottoms. So really my stop is new lows, right? So unless these things are cut into new lows, I'm not really out.
Hmm.
I give a big cushion for the cryptos, right? If you're going to be buying something that's up, I don't know, what's Solana up 1,300% from the lows in 2022 or something like that, right? So if you're buying something that moves like that, shouldn't your stop loss be 40% lower?
Yeah, if I was having this conversation with Jason Pers, he, I think he runs a really wide stop, but then you just manage your you size your position accordingly, right? These trends in crypto, you don't just want to have a stop of 5% because you're just going to get wiped out every single day and get chopped out. And so it's position sizing, whether you want to have that wider stop, and then obviously taking less of a position. So when it does rise, you're not making as much, but then again, the probability of you getting chopped out is obviously
Yep.
less.
And your expected profits should be higher on trades like that, right? A lot of it has to do with beta. If he's trading lumber futures or something, he's got a pretty loose stop, but he knows if he's right on the trade, he's probably making 100%, right? Nat gas, some of these things. And crypto's really no different.
Yeah,
They're,
precisely.
they're wild.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
So leave us with a favorite trade. There are, like you said,
trade.
we have logical levels. We have retests of support. We got some big momentum pops last week, right? That have been faded in large part this week, but some things are set up. I mean, I could look at some of these miners. Like, are you considering the cores a crypto stock? I've been watching this one.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's a crypto stock. I throw that in there.
I mean, that chart looks pretty damn good right here.
I really don't mind the short-term setup in a lot of these altcoins. Them,
You'll trade them.
retesting support. I don't mind that Shiba trade. I'm actually in it.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
All right. I don't hate it. Because look, you had some serious momentum from some of these altcoins coming in the last week. And then that faded. You're just looking for a higher high here. Yeah. Are you frozen? I think we lost Louis. Spencer.
Oh wait, did we lose Louis? Louis? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. All right. Bye, Louis.
We
That
got
was
the
fun.
trade. He gave us the trade. We're good. Thanks, Louis.
All right. Adios. Mwah.
All right, brother. So can you
all right.
hit me with some news? Let's get through some news. I think we already did a number on the jobs.
Yeah. A couple random executive things. The Trump media COO is resigned. The Tesla CIO has resigned. Their robo-taxi event is like coming up soon. Tesla. I think it's like, is it next week?
How exciting. Are they going to cancel it again? I can't hear you, sir. I cannot hear you. I see your mouth moving. Fonz, we can just go while Spencer figures out his audio. Let's run through my favorite charts. So tech support, they're working on it. Let's hit it. Chart 1. To me, right now, going into the end of the year, we just talked about it with Louis. I keep talking about this. There's a post on the blog. I called it the most important chart right now. And I really believe that. So, dollar. I was just talking to Louis. Q4 of last year. I said, what was happening to the dollar and interest rates, right? While stocks were ripping. Market breadth was so good from October to December, January of last year. This is what the dollar was doing. From the upper bounds of this range, around 107, this is the Dixie dollar index, all the way to the lower bound, 7 points lower. That's a big move from dollar index. 7% move. It's huge.
Can you hear me now?
And then more. I can hear you now. And then more chop this year.
That's weird.
And look at where we're set up. Look at where we're set up. Shush. We're set up right back at the lower bounds of this range, right? And take a look here. 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests. This will be the 5th, 6th test over the past, 2 years, less than 2 years. The more times the level is tested, the more likely it is to break. So we were looking at this range just a week or two ago and saying, this might be it for the dollar. And what a spark that would be for risk assets, right? In other words, if this was a big top here, right? Dollars breaking down below this level, trading back into the 90s. Stocks are probably doing great. Stocks around the world are probably doing great. Cryptos are probably doing great. Bitcoin maybe even is finally breaking out. Small caps are probably working. But that's not what happened, right? We got this beautiful bullish momentum divergence at the lows, right? This is textbook. So you see the index making an incremental low here into last week. And look at momentum. Not only making a higher low, not even getting oversold. And then momentum just surged to its highest level since June now. Last time momentum was this high, back towards 60. We are at the upper bounds of this range. I think that's where the dollar's headed right now. So I don't think that means like, oh, sell everything. It's huge trouble for risk assets. No, the dollar's been in this range for the last 2 years and risk assets have been fine. I just think that, extra hot tailwind that'll spark a year-end rally, big chase, right, into the end of the year, like we saw last year, that's the dollar breaking down from this pattern. Interest rates are probably also then breaking down in that scenario, right? And both of those things provide a really nice intermarket tailwind, and we have a nice rally. I think we have to wait for now. Let's see where this bounce goes, right? Dix is heading back up, to the middle of this range, maybe the upper bounds of this range, and then dollar bears will take their shot again. Is that November, December? Or is that, Q1 of next year? I don't know. I think this will eventually be the catalyst for the next big move in the market. What do you think, Spencer?
Yeah,
is it important to you?
Yeah, you've been harping on this. And JC agrees with you. This is one of his charts. His 5 charts for Q4. So
what you don't want to see, look, so for me, if we're still in this range, stocks can do fine. We've seen them do fine while we've been in this range, the whole cycle, right? When we kicked off the cycle, we've had 2 great Q4s, okay? So let's go back to the Q4 before the one I was just talking about last year. Q4 2022, look what was happening to the dollar. Absolutely crashing lower, right, from its peak in the fall of 2022. That's when the bull market began. Everything was working, right? Then range bound for 2 years. Like I said, a lot of stuff working, but, market internals haven't been great. We talk about the market of stocks, small caps. Is it even a trend reversal yet? It's hard to say. So I think to get that next big move, this range really has to go. If we're still stuck in it, I don't think it's the end of the world. If we're back at the upper bounds around 107 and breaking out, then I think it's a problem. But we'll talk about that when we get there.
I was going to say, if that happens.
That's right. And interest rates should follow and do the same thing. I think it's really, it's the same conversation.
All right.
I got more. I could keep going. I thought you were going to do the news, and then you got frozen.
I had a couple things. I was talking to myself. Apparently, I don't know what you all heard and what you didn't hear, but
I heard nothing.
Okay. The the Tesla robotaxi thing. To talk about that. So we had a couple executives leave here from couple companies.
Why?
The Trump media COO, he's out, and then the CIO of Tesla, he's out. The Tesla one interests me more only because again they have a big event next. I think it's the 10th next
You're
Thursday.
just like the mainstream news. So that's the big news about Trump and Tesla today. That's the big news?
I'm just reading some headlines, man. I'm just reading some headlines.
That a chief operating officer of a $1 billion stock resigned.
The DJT does not interest me. The DJT doesn't interest me. The Tesla one interests me a little bit more. What else do we have?
Look how bad Trump's stock is, everybody. The COO resigned.
No, I know. I was looking at CVS. CVS caught an upgrade. That stock is right there. CVS, and there's a couple headlines about that company this week. They're exploring spin-offs, and there are some updates to Medicare that supposedly helped them. But CVS,
this is recording, so I got to be careful. You could buy this stock here. Might sound crazy.
I'm just saying.
This chart, not bad. But it's been basing for most of this year, making fresh multi-month highs, filling a little gap here. This is tradable, Spencer.
That's what I'm saying.
Bullish brick and mortar pharma. Because they do this online these days. Bad news for Hims yesterday. You heard about that? The Hims?
Yeah, the FDA declares we're no longer in a weight loss drug shortage. So
yeah, so they got to go back to just selling erectile dysfunction meds on the internet.
And hair loss. Don't forget the hair loss
too. Hair loss too.
I probably get more Hims ads than like anything. I don't know what that says about like me, but like
dude, they're everywhere. I'm the same way. I don't know why, but you get the hard mints commercials every other commercial these days, wherever you are. It seems like. I thought it was just because I'm 36, but I guess they're targeting you too. And there he goes again. We lost him again. What's going on with you? Just give him a second to come back here. Throw up the next chart. Next chart. Good thing I came prepared today.
Am I here? All right.
There you are. Oh, the last thing I'll say about the Hims and Hers, though, I was thinking about it when I saw the news come across yesterday, and the stock got hit pretty good, right? But they're pretty tactical. Like they can move strategically and fast and come to these different markets, on headlines and moves by the FDA. I think that's pretty impressive. I don't think a big healthcare company would be able to be that nimble, right? And just jump into a market. So what happened was there were supply issues with the GLP-1s, right? Everybody wanted these wonder drugs, and they, I guess, couldn't get them to people fast enough. So that's why they were allowing places like Hims to sell them online, and they just jumped right in and took advantage of it. So I don't know. Smaller companies can move faster.
All right. So what is this chart? I don't.
Discretionary versus staples.
Yeah.
This is offense versus defense. This is bull versus bear. This is risk on versus risk off. We expect this line to go up and to the right during bull markets. And we also, alternatively expect it to be falling during bears. And that's what we see. So I've marked this up with major market bottoms and tops. See here, February 2009, coming out of the financial crisis. Some sweet outperformance and leadership there from your offense, from your discretionary. Again, in June of 2016, that offensive leadership, right? Bull market stuff. Coming off of the pandemic lows in the first quarter of 2020, same thing. When the bull market began, right? When market internals bottomed out in June of 2022, we got that leadership again from the risk on stocks. Today, we are at a huge level. This is the equal weight discretionary versus equal weight staples ratio. We are back at those record highs from pre-financial crisis and from post-COVID rally. If this chart breaks out, that's happening in an environment where, like David Tepper says, you probably want to be buying everything into year end. If this chart goes, I think this is as big as anything. Small caps are breaking out, making new highs. If you go to the next chart, this chart's totally breaking out. Small cap 600 breaking out to new all-time highs, right? If we get that breakout in offense over defense, what that tells you is that investors are embracing risk, right? They're looking for riskier assets, right? They're favoring the most offensive stocks. They're not buying staples. They're not buying utilities.
All right, so but let's take it one step further. So let's say that does happen. What's the process? What's the playbook? It's finding where the juice is, right? Looking for the outperformance, looking for the beta.
Yeah, that's part of it for sure, right? So the more offensive stuff, the more risk-on stuff will, by definition, carry a higher beta, and that's what people are trying to do in bull markets, right? The smart ones are trying to make as much money as they can. So that means moving into the highest beta stuff, which is also often the riskiest and most offensive stuff. So you would expect something like the high beta low vol ratio that we look at and talk about all the time, and which is also like up at the upper bounds. High beta low vol, SPHB, SPLV. I don't know if we have it, Fonz. It looks just like this chart of IJR. I was actually overlaying them yesterday. But that's probably breaking out in an environment where discretionary staples is breaking out. And this is breaking. A lot of things are breaking out. ARC is completing its base, right? Russell 2000, new uptrend is underway. Stocks like, Chinese internet stocks probably keep working in that environment. You'll hear less about utilities and staples. Howard Lindzen will not be coming on our show talking about Coca-Cola in that environment. No, seriously. Like it's all a thing. All of those things happen together. Well, right. I love Howard. I mean, I love Howard, but he's supposed to talk to me about software stocks, and businesses that can scale to infinity. He's coming on here trying to sell me sugar water. It's strange, man. Sentiment.
All right, let's bring Fonz on just real quick before we do that. A couple other headlines I wanted to run through real fast. Rivian is getting the beats this morning.
You love Rivian. I thought of you this morning.
They revised their annual production down. Their production guidance, they revised it down. They said there was a supply shortage for some parts, so down about 6.5% this morning here so far. Speaking of vehicle production and deliveries and sales, I saw a headline like a few days ago. Remember Nikola, guys? Nikola had a PR. They sold 88 cars so far. They're not cars, vehicles, whatever the hell it is they make. They sold 88 of them this year. So good job, Nikola.
Hey, Spencer, it's absolutely mind-blowing that they even sold that many. I didn't know they actually made cars.
I don't know what they make. They might make semi trucks. I really don't know, honestly. But so whatever it is they do, they got 88 out the door. Good for them. Okay, so Rivian down this morning.
Is Rivian a zero? Like, how bad is it over there? See, there are certain stocks that are so far below my line that I don't pay attention. I'm not looking at the financials.
I've said this before. The fact that Rivian has held up the way it has, I think, speaks volumes. Like, from not from a price, just from a market cap standpoint, right? It's still $1 billion company.
Yeah,
Rivian. Okay. No, $10 billion. Still $10 billion company, right? The other ones are down like 3, 4, 500 million or less, right? They've collapsed. Or they're zeros, like actual zeros. This one isn't. We've all seen Rivians on the road. I mean, I have. I've seen a handful.
I don't hate them either. I don't hate them. I think they're
good looking cars.
Yeah. They look better than the Tesla.
From what I've heard, they break down a lot, is what I've seen on the interwebs. But
listen, I'm seeing so many more of these Cybertrucks around me, and I gotta tell you,
I see you.
I've never seen an uglier car in my life. I've never, I don't know how you can design something so ugly. I don't know how. You would have to pay me to get in one of those things. It looks like you're about to travel to another land and time, far, far away. You get in that car.
Yeah, it's not for me.
It looks like that. Like, that's something I'm gonna climb into if I'm about to go to space.
It's not for me. However, if given the chance, would I ride in one? Like, for sure, 10 out of 10. I would 100% be a passenger, just to see what it's like. But I would never buy one.
So just shout out VinFast. After rallying like 500% from its IPO, it is now in a 95% drawdown.
Yeah, that'll happen. Are all the airlines up this morning on the Spirit news? Is that why? I mean, look, I'm looking at
Are they
American.
getting a bankruptcy bid?
Yeah, is that what's happening here?
I think-
I think it might be. What else did I want to say? There's one more thing. Oh yeah, Palantir this morning.
Yeah, I
Did
know.
I see Palantir this morning?
Spencer, I see Palantir every day. It's one of my
Every
largest
day?
holdings. We were on an analyst meeting. I swear it was just 2 days ago, and I said, "Boy, look at this bull flag. It's about to go, guys." And
Yeah.
nobody liked it. Nobody liked it.
2 days ago. Well,
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
yeah, a lot can change in 2 days, I guess. But
AMD too.
AMD. Yeah, AMD. I was dead money for a
AMD's
while.
going, baby. Look out.
Hey, Fonz, you ready? You want to come on? He hasn't said no, so I assume that means that's a yes. So
I think tech is about to bounce back hard here. Look out for tech.
end of year tech rally. I'm here for it.
NASDAQ's heading back to those all-time highs. I just want to buy. I'm probably going to buy calls as soon as we get off of this.
I'm here for it.
Next week's 500 calls in the queues.
All right, let's see what Alfonso has to say about that.
Hey guys,
Hey,
Bonds.
how's it going?
Good, man. Talk to me. Calls in the queues? Queues calls?
Do you think so? Well, first of all, I couldn't agree more with your top 3 charts. I was really impressed about that discretionary staples ratio.
It's a good
so
one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for clues about risk appetite, I think that's the chart. That's for sure.
That's
Also, dollar has been a big story this week, in my opinion, bouncing off that support level.
Well, this is now a big move for the dollar. It happened slowly, and now it seems like all at once. If you look at a 5-day rate of change, which is not super short term, it's a 1-week rate of change. This is the biggest move for the dollar. Dude, look at this. Biggest move on a 5-day rate of change basis. You got to go back to 2022. So
look how equities have been doing. I mean, even
they've been doing considerably well, I think.
Yeah, they have been very resilient during these days of a strong dollar.
You're
so that's
absolutely
right. They were really strong in like a week seasonal period too. So that's always something positive bulls want to see during these periods. Also, I mean, a sector that I really like to watch is industrials. I mean, making new all-time highs. I really like that sector because of diversification and correlation with the major indexes. So yeah,
that chart looks as good as anything at the sector level right now. XLI looks the best. Like you were just high and tight in this little flag there, and it's up 1% today. Look at Caterpillar. How did we not buy that coil in Caterpillar?
I mean, I just bring Caterpillar. We're putting a trade today. I really like this one, and what I like the most is it's the relative trend present against new highs. So it's looking so good, looking so strong. And if Caterpillar is doing that well, it's hard to imagine that this bull market will end soon. You know,
and I think that is all the thought you want to give, unless you're long, right? And you're using this as an actual vehicle. The only takeaway from this Caterpillar chart right now is, holy cow, things must be pretty good out there.
Yeah, that's it.
And Caterpillar is one of those stocks. It doesn't just give us information on the broader market, but it gives us real information on the real economy too. Like this one, maybe as much as any stock in the world. I would throw like JP Morgan in that conversation too. But they tell you a lot about the real economy. If Caterpillar's making new all-time highs, the market's probably really good, and the economy's probably really good. And China too. That's the third thing I'll think about when I think about Caterpillar.
Yeah, that's true.
I got to mark up
a bellwether within one of the most important sectors, making new all-time highs.
How about GE being bigger than Caterpillar? You guys still getting used to that?
I mean, GE has been on fire for the past years. It's
You're
doing
right,
great.
Alfonso. It has.
Sorry?
You're right. It has. Shout out, GE.
I mean, has been doing great. Recently, resolved higher from a coil pattern. So, I mean, these two are the leaders for the industrial sectors. So as long as these two are doing great and making new highs, we have a bull market to continue.
So outside of industrials, if you had to be in one sector, right? And I know we're allowed to change our minds. That's the best part about what we do. But if you had to pick one sector right now today to own through Q4, so through the end of this year, you can't take industrials. Who do you take?
That's a good question. That's
Right.
a good question. Yeah, because for example, we have this energy futures JC and you were talking about today
Oh, yeah.
at a key level. So if this energy futures, gasoline, heating oil, crude oil bounce at these support levels, I mean, for me, it's hard to imagine not energy to assume some leadership role in the Q4.
You know what? I like that pick too.
And
because-
nobody's talking about energy, you know?
No, I love that pick because if energy digs in here and has a good Q4, they probably lead. It's energy is such high beta. When energy stocks are doing well, they tend to be at the top of the leaderboard. And then when they're not doing well, they're the last one, right? They're the worst of all the sectors all the time. Tech is similar too, right? If tech is doing well, they're hard to beat. And then in bear markets, it's like tech's the worst. So I like that. I like it. Energy as the top sector in Q4. I think that would surprise the most people too.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that case, it will make sense, you know? Nobody talk about energy. Nobody wants energy. But these futures at key super level, if they catch a bid, I think that may be it.
You know, we want the ones that nobody wants.
And how about the small caps? I mean, do you think it's going to break out this quarter, or it will still stuck in that range?
I think they have to break out. So you want to see Russell 2000 make new pivot highs, and you really want to see the S&P 600 make new all-time highs.
Yeah, I think that's for me that's the chart for small caps. The chart you showed.
I think they have time at this point because I think we get rotation back into tech, mega caps, growth, right? And I think that buoys the indexes, at least for now, because tech hasn't outperformed for a long time. Like if you look at that chart of semiconductors, hasn't outperformed for 4 years. Let's grab that chart. So I think tech is due for some outperformance, and that'll carry the markets at the index level. But there's going to come a time early next year where we're going to need some of that rotation back, and we'll be looking at small caps to kind of help carry the load again. So I think they have time, but it's got to come. Throw up the IJR chart. So what we did here, we used the monthly PPO. This is a long-term momentum indicator. Mostly you would use it for like crossover analysis, right? For bullish and bearish buy signals and sell signals based on the crossover. Get that chart up there. But you can also use it since it is right-sized. It's based on percentage, not points like the MACD. You can use it for extreme readings, right? So if I zoom out and look at all the history I have for the S&P 600, which is small cap index, every time you get a bullish crossover, you tend to get a high watermark around 9.5 to 11.5, right? So I have it marked up there, right? You see it 9.5, 9.6, 11.9, 9.5. But every time you get a valid buy signal, you do eventually hit a high. That cycle usually doesn't take too long either. If you look at the chart, right? A year, 2 years out, usually get a high reading about 9, 10, 11 in the PPO. We're at 4.4 today, right? If you look at the large cap indexes and you do the same exact analysis, they're already up towards the upper range, right, of where they tend to peak out historically in this momentum indicator. Small caps aren't even half the way there, right? Haven't gotten the breakout yet. So I think eventually for this bull market to have legs, we have to be looking at small caps. We should be looking at small caps to start doing some of the heavy lifting. Based on historical measures of bull market, small caps have a lot of gas left in the tank, a lot of room to run. Again, if you did this analysis on the NASDAQ 100, the S&P 500, it wouldn't look like this. We're up towards that 9, 10, 11 level on this chart.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I mean, if we're going to finally see some real rotation into small caps.
I think we got to at a certain point.
And I was looking at the seasonal trends, the relative trends between small caps and large caps. And I found that November and December are typically the best month for these smaller names. So
especially in election years, do the same analysis, but just in election years, and look at the small cap outperformance.
Yeah, I will do.
I love that. I think that's a great take. What do you think, Spencer? You're going to add small caps to your portfolio?
You guys are like doing a decent job of like talking me into it, but I'm not quite there yet. No.
Do you still own a lot of pot stocks? They're small caps.
No, I don't own any pot stocks. I traded one of them in like back in January, but I haven't owned a pot stock for a long years. Right.
When you talk about small caps, you're talking about biotechs, basically.
Right.
Those are the ones that have to go to see.
Biotechs and like also, isn't it like banks? Like a lot of random ass.
Yeah, banks? A lot of banks, a lot of biotechs.
Yep. All right. Real fast before we do recess, I want to plug a thing real quickly. Every day, Alfonso and I. Oh wait, what happened to my screen share? Did I just lose it?
Yeah.
I want to show my screen. 1 second. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. Every day, Alfonso and I each send out an email. I send out an email after the show, and Fonz sends out an email later on in the evening. My email, very simply, is just a recap of the show, and also it has a link where you can get the charts, all the charts we're talking about on this show. Fonz's email is also very short and sweet. It's just his favorite chart of the day. That's it. If you want to get this Stock Market TV daily recap and chart of the day email, you should. This is what the screen looks like. I'll put the link up on the screen right now. There it is. stockmarkettv.com/daily-rundown. Go to that page, sign up. It's free.
That's good.
And every day, usually before 11 o'clock is my goal, before 11 o'clock a.m. And then around like 6:30 in the evening for Fonz. 2 emails, short and sweet. And we had some people asking for a long time, how can I get the charts? How can I get the charts from the show? How can I see the thing? I missed it live, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. You can get the charts. They're right there in the email. And I highlighted a few of the things that you may have missed if you didn't watch it live. But check it out.
Spencer, you've been overwhelmingly clear about this. Okay. I think it's great. You guys are killing it. So everybody sign up. I've really been enjoying the note. I think you're both doing a great job.
Cool. Thank you. That's the first thing I want to plug. Second thing I want to plug is Off the Charts.
We have more plugs?
Well, Off the Charts is back after a couple week hiatus due to some travel, right? But you all are back now.
Yeah.
The Andrew Maneker episode is live on YouTube. If you go to your podcast platform of choice, which is, let's be honest, probably Spotify or iTunes, it should be there. If not now, then very soon.
So it was a great conversation. They all have been. Really, I've just been having such a great time doing this podcast. But Sean and I, if anybody in the chat has any ideas, I'd love to hear them. Sean and I are trying to figure out a way, because we do travel and go to these conferences every now and then. And we're surrounded by our smart friends, and there's no cameras, and we don't have any audio equipment on us, right? But we should be having conversations and doing some form of content from these conferences. Our good buddy Blake had like a camera crew following him around at Future Proof. So we got to do something when we go to these events in the future. So we're thinking about doing some sort of live situation where maybe we do a live flow show or like a little live chat with one of our trader or investor friends. So
that would be great.
Do you want to be those guys with like the selfie stick? No,
but like I'm not gonna be. Giancarlo is. He's gonna be following behind me with the camera. I'm not worried about that.
There you go. All right, let's do some recess and hop out of here. How about that?
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
my recess was like, holy crap! If you did not see the Mets game last night, I'm not even a Mets fan, but I appreciate it. It was
been exciting, I hear.
What happened?
I cannot believe this, but it's the first time in the history of the sport that someone hit a home run when their team was losing in the 9th inning of an elimination game, a do or die game. They hit a home run to take the lead. It's never happened before. I realize that's a lot of qualifiers, but still, it was a huge.
That's a mouthful.
I know, I get it, but it's a huge win for the Mets, man. I don't hate the Mets. I'm a Yankees fan. I don't hate the Mets though. I'm happy for them, I guess. And it was just a very, very exciting game. So playoff baseball.
So did they they're in the next round kind of
They're
situation?
in the next round. They are going to play the Philadelphia Phillies. So the state of New Jersey will be split in half, more or less, with the southern half on Team Philly and the northern half on Team New York.
So
it's going to be fun. It's going to be a bloodbath.
When's the last time the Mets advanced in the playoffs?
Well, they were in the World Series as recently as 2015, which I guess now that I think about it was kind of 9 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. No, it doesn't feel like they were in the World Series.
2015 does not feel like 9 years ago, but apparently it was, or so I'm told. That's all I got. Going apple picking this weekend. It's like the best fall activity. Love apple picking. Love the pumpkins. Love the donuts. Love the cider. Love it all.
Wow.
Let's go.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Where my parents live, they have this lovely little apple picking orchard situation, but it's also like they make like some really crappy wine there. So like you could like sit and have some cider and eat some cheese and meats. It's just really nice.
Wonderful.
Great this time of year. I have a new rule.
Okay.
I'm doing desk bouquets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it's great juju, right? So we always have flower arrangement downstairs. I got to figure out a way to get Lola Cat to stop eating the flowers.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm okay with it or not yet. It's
That would be hard.
She just sits here and eats them all day. But you want to surround yourself with beautiful things. You know, while you're in your office all day, I'm here just staring at screens all day. Look at the flowers; they make me happy. I think there's like something like in the aroma that comes off them, right? That creates good energy. Also, like science there. Yeah.
All right. Desk bouquets. Never thought of that before.
It's a new thing we're doing.
All right.
Yeah. I love flowers.
What do you got?
Well, I'm back in my country after 2 months traveling. A lot of planes, man. I'm exhausted of that. So yeah, really happy to be.
So what airlines have you flown this year?
Iberia, Ryanair.
How's Iberia?
KLM. Sorry.
How's Iberia?
It's good enough. Yeah.
Ryanair. Let's check in on Ryanair real fast. How are they doing?
Aren't they one of the biggest ones in the world?
Yeah, they're big. RYAAY. Hey.
Where are they based out of? Like, where are they from?
I think it's like Ireland.
Ireland, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Cool. That's it, I guess.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, look, we got a fast market out here. It's Friday. We all got trades to make. Let's
That's right. All right. So if you are more of the podcast kind of person, check out Off the Charts. Strazza and Sean spoke with Andrew Menaker, who's a PhD. He's a trader and he's a performance coach. I cannot wait to listen to it this weekend, as I usually do. So thanks to Fawn, thanks to Louie, thanks to Kenny, thanks to everyone in chat. Have a great one. Go make some money, all right? And we'll catch y'all on Monday. How about that?
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye, guys.